So I've waited and everyone has 12 goddamn weeks for the football, and it's just, it's good that it's back, but my God, my team is just shitting the bed, to be honest.
I agree. As a non-football fan, watching these games at home is shit.
Just from a Tigers fan perspective,
yes.
We're the goddamn reigning premiers, and we've drawn a game and lost a game, so it's not been a great return for footy for me. And then it is still weird watching it on TV, and they're piping in crowd noise now, which I know a lot of professional sports that are starting to start back up around the world. I think the EPL's doing it over in England, and that just pumping in artificial crowd noise. It's real odd, and especially when something someone kicks a goal really quickly, and obviously the guy up in the control room with his finger over the button hasn't seen it, and there's just a delay, and then he's like, oh shit, and he's hit the button, and then the crowd noise goes off.
Is it kind of like the effect of someone trying to live censor a live stream? Yeah,
I would say it's similar to that. The guy's already said fuck, cunt, piss, and the guy's trying to hit the drop button, and he's missed it by a good 3 seconds. Yeah, it happened I was watching someone instead of going back on their mark and kicking the goal, just turned around, played on, and kicked the goal, and there was a good 2 to 3 seconds of solid silence from the crowd noise, and then the guy's oh shit, and he's hit the button, and then it's hey, it's just odd. It's really odd.
Is it the same noise though for both sides? So if Richmond kicks a goal, it's hey, and when Hawthorn kicks a goal, it's hey. It's the same sound.
Pretty much. It feels like they've got about 5 or 6 default, generic crowd noises.
It's kind of they bought a soundboard and are just sticking with the defaults.
Yeah, and there's no I think Sportsbet did a gag on this, but there's no part of the atmosphere of the football is having to go at the umpires for shit calls, and the one thing the footy is real this crowd noise stuff is really missing is fuck you, you green maggot, that's a shit call, what are you doing? Just the more general sort of crowd noise you get is abuse being hurled at either the umpire or the opposite team or a very specific player on a certain team. It's very clear that these are just, we recorded a bunch of crowd noise at some point and we're now just pumping it into the stadium rather than getting 100 people together in front of a microphone and just shouting ball at the top of their lungs, which is what you hear on a game day is ball, holding, what the fuck, stuff like that it's not genuine is what I'm trying to say. It doesn't feel like a crowd is really apparently there. It's very off-putting.
So would you have preferred to then just leave it as is, to have it a silent arena? Yeah.
So in round 1, which feels like fucking 2 years ago, basically it was 12 weeks ago was round 1. They didn't have time to prep any of this, so they just sort of played in front of empty crowds or empty stadiums, and there was no crowd noise. But the thing is, you could hear all the players calling plays to each other, talking each other as well.
Yeah, hearing the on-field commentary was very weird.
Yeah, but for me, it's just simple because I watch a lot of the VFL on TV as well when there's not AFL games on, and that is very small crowds at sort of regional grounds, and there's a crowd there, but they don't really pick up the crowd that much in the audio of the broadcast. And what you get to hear is a lot more of just the teams talking to each other, the players talking to each other in between plays or during plays, trying to set up, going forward. And that to me is actually really interesting. And now that they've sort of pumped in this crowd noise, that is kind of getting taken away a bit. I know for a lot of people that don't watch, smaller football games, they just watch the big, AFL ones. It is weird, but for someone who watches and goes to a lot of regional football games as well, not having massive crowd noise isn't that much of a takeaway. It does obviously detract from the atmosphere of what you expect. A fully packed MCG with 100,000 people is something that I think everyone should at least try to experience at some point in their life, even if they're not a football fan.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Because it is, I can tell you, I think the biggest crowd I've ever been to at the MCG was 98,000. So it was near capacity. It was very close. And that was just, the atmosphere there was insane. You could feel the whole stadium rumble whenever the crowd started cheering.
Yes. I've only ever been to one football game, and the MCG was very full. And the main phrase that I heard was, "Hey mate, you want a beer?"
Yeah, well, that is a very genuine footy experience.
Yes, no, and I felt that. I'm like, oh, this is nice.
Yeah.
The one drawback for me for the MCG, like the only time I went and saw St Kilda versus Collingwood. This was years ago. I went with my mum. And and of course, see, the problem is, though, we got the tickets from a Collingwood supporter and we were St Kilda supporters. So, like, that was already making things awkward. But, like, It was just fucking bright in there. Like, holy shit. I was wearing sunglasses during the match.
Yeah. Even, like, during night games, they pump in that light because they need, it needs to at least feel like daytime for the players on the field.
Yeah.
No, it's if you've ever lived in Melbourne or like, you've got to go to an MCG game. It is like, it's almost a rite of passage. Like every like backpacker or whatever that I've ever met, like whether it was through uni or just like randomly, like I've been like, you come and do a footy game. Like you just have to do it. Because I know like over there, they got like college football and the NFL and that's, their thing. But a fully packed MCG is just a whole beast unto itself. And it is sad that we're not getting that right now. And I just went and picked up my my Richmond membership scarf today because I was in Richmond and I was like, I should go and grab that. But just sort of walking past the MCG, because our like headquarters is right next to the MCG, sort of walking past the MCG and just like knowing that it's empty and it's going to be empty for a fair while longer is, I don't know, it's just pretty sad. But, we got to do what we got to do. Hopefully soon enough we'll be able to go back and pack half the seats or a third of the seats or a quarter of the seats, however they're going to let us come back. Because I know Adelaide was the first ones last week to do it, and they had shots of the crowd, and it's like every third or fourth seat is full, and it's an odd look.
Yeah.
Because you've got like clear family groups that have been split up, like every second or third seat. You got like mum seat, dad seat, kid seat. But yeah, it's a weird time we're living in. But at the end of the day, I'm just glad footy's back.
No, yeah, it is a good time to be. It's a good time to be alive again with the footy back on. So, just real quick though, going back to the match, because I saw the final score, and that was the most surprising part. Like, it was like 36-70 odd or something stupid like that.
Yeah. The game on Friday, Tigers versus Hawthorn. Yeah, look, it wasn't good.
Yeah.
We played terribly. They just overran us, and at halftime we were down by like 20 odd points, and I was like, screw this, I'm going to go stream Pokemon. And I kept the score, kept looking at the score, and it just got worse and worse. And it's just like, this is something that I think not many people can kind of sort of attest to, but there are certain groups that can within the AFL, like Hawthorn, Geelong, teams like that have had success in the last few years, is like looking at a team knowing that it's good and then seeing them play terribly is a really hard thing to watch, because you know that you're better than this. You know that you should be playing way better, and you're just not. And for whatever reason, whether it's just having a bad night or, we did have a couple of our key players out, if that affected the game at all, it just sucks watching a team that is capable of much better performing at a much lower level. And it sucks, but, that's sport at the end of the day. Sport is peaks and valleys, ups and downs. No one can be on top forever.
Yeah, and with that, welcome to Pint Party, a podcast designed to turn a beer and a chat into a tax write-off. I'm your host, John McLeish, and joining me this week is resident football fan Ricki Needs and prodigal daughter JJ. Welcome.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi, and I apologize if the audio quality is a little bit weird for this episode. I'm playing with a new toy that I bought myself the other day. I got myself a Zoom H6 handy recorder for all the nerds out there that care. And we're experiencing some growing pains, just like making the thing work. I'm like running some like jank right now, trying to make this thing work. I'm gonna have to make another trip to Amazon to like buy some more cables. But that's always the thing with new tech. Like, and literally that is like the story of my life with technology. Whenever you buy a new thing, it's like, fuck, I got to buy a new cable. There's always the case, and that's definitely the case here. Now I have to buy a new cable. So yeah, hopefully by next week we'll get this all sorted. But for now, just bear with us if it sounds a bit weird, because like we're doing some mad science shit here because of the apocalypse.
That's the reason that I keep nearly every single cable I've ever had, just in case.
Yeah, I have a drawer full of cables for this exact reason. Yeah. I have those like mini suitcases on wheels that you like the carry-on ones?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have two of those full of cables.
Yep.
That's impressive.
Everything.
As someone who doesn't keep cables.
because you never know. You never know what,
you never know.
I have a good, like, I think at some point on my last camera, I had 15 different HDMI cables just of like different lengths, just from different like stuff that I've bought. Like if I buy a monitor, it comes with a HDMI cable, or, if I've set up a new, like I used to have a really nice 6-channel entertainment system that had 6 different HDMI channels that you could plug stuff into. So I bought 6 HDMI cords thinking that I'd be able to fill them up. And eventually I did with all of my game consoles, because I could run it through and then just change the inputs and that. But now I've just got them like it's insane when you just sort of like, if you don't throw anything away, which at some point I probably should, because some of these cables are like useless, but you never know. You never know.
I wish I had a TV that had 6 HDMI cables.
Yeah.
Now I'm jealous. Currently in my setup, I have a small TV that has 1 HDMI cable with 4 different things that I keep having to switch. And my cable management is terrible, so I keep plugging in the wrong things because I'm stupid and forget which one is which.
Oh yeah, you got to get yourself a HDMI switcher.
Well, this was a really nice AV receiver with 6 HDMI channels, and then I think it doesn't work anymore. And I think 2 or 3 sets of roommates ago, one of them just left it on for a good 48 hours straight, and a capacitor blew. So I have been planning a million times, just I need to go to a small appliance electrical engineer or an electrical fixer, and it's can you salvage my AV receiver, because it cost me a lot of money, and I'm I really want it to work again, because
bring it back from the dead.
Yeah, because I just don't want to throw it out. And the problem is, because I got that, I got a whole 5.1 surround sound speaker system to go with it, and I can't use it because the goddamn receiver doesn't work. So I'm it's money just sitting there that I should be able to
That's just the world of technological hurt.
It is.
For you.
It sucks so much.
So much emotional anguish.
I know, and I loved having it all set up and and I can cable manage all of it, and I love doing cable management. It's so much fun.
Yeah,
I wish I was like you. I
need actually I should start charging people for my services, just going around and cable managing all their shit.
Make some business cards.
It's I know in the the lockdown now, and there's a lot of unemployment going around, which really, really sucks. But I'm the jobs are out there if people can think about them. And I'm what do people hate doing? Cable managing their own shit. What do I love doing? Cable management. Let's make it a thing. I'll make a job of just going around
Airtasker. Check it on Airtasker.
True.
I will offer my services in cable management.
I genuinely think
Everyone
you
will
could
want
do
you.
that. I think that
if you have yeah. I'm sure that there's probably someone out there already doing this, but
But the question is, are they doing it in Melbourne? See, that's the question.
True. I could probably. You're
gonna cable manage the entire state. That's your job. Victorian cable management expert.
The one that gets me, and I have a friend of mine that knows that I love this shit. So whenever she sees a photo of a really well done server room, she'll send it to me. Oh. Because when you see just every single patch cable in its spot, all running up a good conduit off to wherever it needs to go, just a bunch of 100 just Ethernet cables all bundled together, but it's neat and it's tidy and it all runs parallel. I fucking love that. I don't know what it is.
Is this porn for you?
A little bit, yeah, because it's just just seeing something done so goddamn well, and just and knowing I can go and just I can just take a cable out and it's not going to fuck up the rest of the cables. The amount of things I've seen where and you're right, if behind a TV cabinet where there's 3 consoles plugged in and it's just a mess, and you're trying to work out which cable goes to where, and you just was that my Xbox or my PS4 or what? It sucks. But if you have proper cable management, you can be right, I know exactly where that cable goes. I can plug it out, take it out of the whole system, and I'm not going to need to touch anything else. It's not going to get tangled or caught up or drag the bloody power brick that's behind my TV out to the front of my TV because I fucked up something. Just proper fucking cable management just makes me so happy.
Oh, can't help but make your dick hard, right?
Exactly.
I wouldn't say hard. But there's definitely movement at the station. There's definitely movement.
Yeah, definite stage 1
there's
job.
There's
happening.
a rollover.
There's a twitch. There's definitely a little twitch there.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I'd say that. Yeah. I'd say there's definitely movement. I wouldn't, but we're not. Even though we're sitting down, we're not giving a standing ovation. So,
yeah. But yeah, I think because we're talking about like kinks a couple of weeks ago, and to me, yeah, like server room cable management is a very odd but specific kink that I have. Just like seeing everything set up perfectly is just
oh my God.
Can't get enough.
That's a porno that nobody's ever made that we could totally make. Fucking in a well cable managed server room. I don't think anybody's done that.
Oh god, that would be very sweaty porn.
Classic pizza delivery boy setup. You know, hey baby, I'm here to manage your cables. Ooh, and it's in a server room. It's fucking great. Oh my god.
But also, if that was the case, for it to be effective in its goal, it wouldn't be able to move around too much because you'd have to be focusing on the cables. So there'd just sort of be focusing on the cables and having sort of the fucking sort of slowly sort of in the background slightly blurry so people can look at both at the same time but focus on the cables.
It's like the fucking's just like off in the corner. It's sort of like, yeah, there's some fucking, but look at those cables.
Look at that. Ooh.
Yeah.
There is something out there for everybody.
Exactly.
At the end of the day, that is without a doubt the truth.
Surely Brazzers could make that. They must have a fucking data. Like, whoever does the Pornhub data center should be just like, hey, do you mind if we like borrow the data center for a day shoot? You know what I mean? Like they've got to have a data center for all that porno that like they could do it. They got the set.
Well, actually, there's something similar to that. There was I don't know if you guys know Killer Mike. He's one half of the hip hop group Run the Jewels.
Oh yeah, no, I love his TV show.
Yeah, exactly. His TV show. But have you seen the episode of his TV show where he puts in like general home maintenance instructions into porn?
Yeah.
Because
what?
So he's like, people watch porn. People don't know how to like change a doorknob, for example. So he wrote and like shot pornos where while the porn stars were having sex, they were also doing like general home maintenance tasks. And so they would give someone like...
And it wasn't just boring heterosexual porn neither. Like, he made porn of all flavors.
That's amazing.
So he would give someone a task like, say, change a doorknob with like general instructions, and people would generally fail. And then he would have them watch the porno and then give them the task again after them watching the porno, and they would be able to do it. So he's like, we need to make instructional porno for people. Because they'll watch it, but their brain at the same time as like watching the porn will absorb the information being presented in it. Therefore, they'll be better, more rounded human beings.
Is that the ultimate teaching medium?
Maybe it is. Maybe we've just been so like blind up until this point to not realize that maybe if you get taught something while you watch people fuck, it is the best way your brain absorbs information.
Like, and what I like is that he put it in all flavors just to account for the fact that like that way there was no bias in the data. It's sort of like you got straight people fucking, you got gay people fucking, and like that way you know that it's all humans of all flavors of sexuality that like benefit from this.
Because everyone needs to learn these things.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a universal skill.
Yeah, exactly. And so it all totally worked. Yeah, no, that was actually like one of my favorite episodes was that one and him trying to live in the black economy were like the two, which is the first episode. Like that, those two are probably my favorite episodes. What's it called? Something with Killer Mike. I can't remember.
See, it's escaping me now too. Hang on. Yeah. Hang on.
I would highly recommend everybody go and watch it for sure. It is a great show. Is there a season 2? There was only one season of it, and damn, I'd love to watch another season of that.
Trigger warning?
Trigger warning with Killer Mike. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Oh, that and the one where he starts his own religion. Actually, that one was pretty good too.
Yes. The religion of sleep.
Oh my god, I need that.
Yeah. Porn is a good conduit for learning stuff.
Certainly is. Around it. And it's a good way of learning things like getting into high tech, which is actually what I originally wanted to talk about today. But you know what? This is all. It all kind of amalgamates. I mean, we're talking about mad science and high tech and the future of things and bodily functions and of course the ultimate combination of all of those is piss mansions.
Of course.
Naturally,
making mansions out of piss is like the obvious next step. So what this is like, I love that this is like, I have it. By the way, I just want to say I'm one of the few people that own a subscription to Wired, the digital edition of Wired. because I just keep reading articles on Wired. Oh, for God's sake, I am a subscriber. Already a subscriber signed. Yes. Oh my God, it's now saying I'm not signed in. Great, thanks, Wired. I was just here being like, hey, you should pay for Wired, and then it's like, we're just not going to sign you in. Great, thanks, guys. Way to ruin your own spot. Anyway, one of the benefits of paying for Wired is sometimes you get some weird articles that pop up, like, on the moon, astronaut pee will be a hot commodity. I was sort of like, all right, you got me there. And it was a bit of a clickbaity title, but I read the thing, and it's actually not as stupid as it sounds. I mean, it's still pretty fucking stupid.
I'm skimming through this to get the gist of it, and I think I found my favorite sentence of all time.
All right, go on.
It's unlikely that NASA will start sending rockets full of pee to the moon to make up the difference, but there are plenty of other uses for astronaut urine other than cement.
Yeah.
Out of context. That makes no sense and sounds like something that pop up in the Space Force TV show.
Oh yeah. Oh, I as I read this article, I'm like, if they don't make this a bit in Space Force, I'm gonna be fucking pissed. Like I swear to God, I really hope. I mean, you would have to, right? Like Steve Carell would have to have a subscription to Wired. How else is he like writing the show if he's not keeping up with what's going on? Like,
so the gist of this. So piss mansions.
Yes, piss mansions. So the gist
are they gonna build houses on the moon out of wee?
So it's not just wee on its own. Like it really, what they're doing is actually, and it's not even all the pee in pee. They are only using a specific bit of it called urea. I don't know what I don't know what urea is on its own. Okay, I'm not the, and of course it was European researchers that figured this out. Like it just sounds like such a European thing to do. Hey guys, let's play with pee today. Like that's just that's some classic German shit right there.
I do know what urea is.
Oh, sweet. Please do
So
enlighten us.
urea is basically, it's a nitrogen-based compound. So it can be used, if it's found in all mammals.
Right.
And it is probably the most it contains the most nitrogen in the human body, and it can be used as fertilizer.
Right. Okay. Well, if you mix the urea with moon regolith, which is what the, moon dust or moon rock, it makes what do they call it? This is the I keep forgetting that like JJ is actually a shoot science reporter, and like you should probably be explaining this more than me. But it creates a geopolymer which has similar properties to concrete. That's just straight from the article. And then they can use it to build shit on the moon. And like as soon as they said, oh yeah, you can use this to like a concrete, and then you just use concrete for like doing what you use normal concrete for. My first thought, honest to God, the first words that popped into my mind were piss mansions. And I was like, dude, I would love to like, I feel like that's like a thing that like, I don't know, Generation Gamma is going to hear about from Generation fucking Beta. They're going to be like, back in my day, I had to piss 5 liters a day to build this house, and you kids get to fucking live in it for free. Like, I don't know, I feel like that's like a thing that they'll be like, okay, Beta.
See, when you first said piss mansions, I thought of like making a house out of pee that was in like plastic bottles and then like just gluing them together.
That's the way of the road. It's the way of the rocket, son. But yeah, I just thought that was like there's a thing. This is a thing that human beings have dedicated like money and research to, is working out how to use piss on the moon. I just thought that's something that everybody needs to know about.
Anything can be science if you use enough fancy words.
That is a very good point.
Yeah,
and I think at the moment we're breaking the scientific barrier by using words like geopolymer to imply you can use pee in concrete.
Yeah. Yeah.
I rate that very highly.
Yeah. And of course, like, and even the researchers who made it, like the reason why they say they're not going to send up rockets full of pee, just to provide context to that sentence, is that like, I mean, think about like, even if you don't want to build, say, okay, let's say we don't want to build a piss mansion. Let's say we just want to build a piss shed, right? Just like a small little 1-bedroom shack to like hang out after a long day of walking around on the moon. That's still a lot of pee you need just to build a little 1-bed shack. And it's like a lot more than one person can like output. Even someone like me who, like you get enough beer into me and I need to piss like a full bladder load every 10 minutes. Like even I can't be getting it done. Although I feel like if we were going to do this, I'd be a very valuable employee on the moon. If anybody wants to hire me for piss duty on the moon, I'm your guy. I'll do that. That's fine. But also, when you think about it, it's actually a very ancient idea. Like it'd be like moon colonists would have a piss tax, just like the ancient Romans did. You guys know about this, the ancient Roman piss tax?
I've heard of the concept, but the specifics escape me.
Okay. So you have not heard of the ancient Roman piss tax. Okay, so we know this from I know this from learning about Pompeii in my Italian art class, where we were supposed to learn Italian, but we never did. But we did learn a lot about Italian history. So there you go. Basically, the ancient Romans, they weren't using piss to make places. They weren't like all of their grand, temples and shit. They weren't building them out of piss. They were building them out of their own. Well, they might have been building them out of piss. We don't actually know what Romans used to make concrete, but their concrete recipe is still fucking great. We wish we had it.
Well, if they used shit, they would have used piss to make it a bit nicer to move around.
Probably, but what they were primarily using piss for was for laundry. They were using it to clean their clothes. So you would piss, and then that piss would turn. They'd let it sit for a while, and it would turn into bloody. What's it called? I can't remember the name of the stuff. They use it in liquid latex. I don't know, the stuff that smells like cat piss.
Ammonia?
Ammonia. It would turn into ammonia, and then they would use it to clean clothes. And of course, because there's a lot of people with a lot of clothes, and a lot of people want their clothes to be clean. That's a lot of piss. So the government was just sort of like, well, you know what? And everybody needs to piss. Instead of just going and pissing on a tree, which is what they used to do back in the day, they just said, hey, you piss into this bucket, and then that's the tax. We're going to tax your piss. And so that's what they did. And they used to pee in buckets. And so you could totally do that on the moon. You could just have a piss tax. And you go to the bathroom and you get your I can't believe it's not a space fleshlight, and you put that on your wedding tackle, and you say, all right, I'm going to go and do a wee now. And they're like, great, we're going to take the house takes a cut of that, and then the rest of that goes to the government. And it's like, cool. And then that's your piss tax. So we can bring that back. Let's bring back the piss tax.
Let's bring back the piss tax.
I'm learning so much.
Yeah. Yeah.
But this also means, random side tangent here, that if you've ever been to a toga party and people are wearing white togas, they're wrong. They should always be yellow.
Yes, they should always be slightly yellow. Yeah.
So if you go to a toga party for the ultimate realistic Roman experience, soak your sheet in piss for 3 days and then dry it.
Yeah.
And then rock up and see what everyone says.
So, yeah, there we go. I just thought that was something that the world, there's a lot of bad news in the world, and a lot of, there's a lot of research going on at the moment, but it's all being directed towards one place. But it's nice to know that somewhere out there in the world, someone is figuring out, new and innovative ways to use pee.
So today's top Pint Party tip is save some of your piss every day and then donate it to science so it can go to space.
Fucking A.
Put it in a bottle.
Mail it to whatever, the Australian Space Agency.
No, don't ever use it. Don't ever use it. Mail it straight to SpaceX because they'll need it. They're actually doing shit.
No, but if enough people submit their pee in a bottle to the Space Agency here, they'll have to take it seriously. It's kind of just like bombarding them with one idea to the point like, you know what, this may not be such a bad idea. It's like subtle brainwashing, a social movement. Send your pee in a bottle to space agencies.
And then we can finally go to space as Australians. We can go to the moon.
Hooray!
Actually, you know what? Yeah. You're right. That can be Australia's, contribution to the great space movement. Is that where the we make road trains, we make logistics is kind of our thing. Moving shit across large distances is like a thing we just do as Australians. Let's get into the space logistics business, and we'll hold the rockets full of piss. NASA doesn't have to do that. They just subcontract that out to us, and that'll create jobs.
The new space economy, the number one commodity will be piss.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, and Australia will corner the market. That's right. See, we're going to create jobs on this as well. It's great, right? And we can and all of Australia can get around it because we've all got bladders. Most of us do.
Everybody pisses, no matter what.
Everybody needs to piss. That's right. So yeah, we can absolutely make this a thing. There you go. See, look at this. We just people should be listening to this and being like, holy fuck, that's the election issue right there. Mr. Prime Minister, what are you doing with my piss? That's what we need to do.
Where does piss fit into your 5-year plan?
That's right. Yeah, where does moon piss fit into your 5-year plan, Mr. Prime Minister? That should be the burning question of the day, right? All right, but speaking of the economy, if piss mansions, like that's a future thing. Like that's like, okay, we're talking into the future, and you can always talk bright and lovely about the future. You really can. But I mean, what are you going to do right now? What are you going to do right now? I mean, right now, I'm already doing my part, right? I'm sitting here and I'm drinking a can of beer right now. Like, I'm doing my part, but like, I mean, that's still future John is the one who's actually going to make the contribution to humanity. So what can I do right now? What can you do right now? Well, what you can do right now is invest your money in Somali pirates. That's what you can do right now.
Okay.
So this is like above and like far and away, like the article that I read. By the way, this is in Reuters. That's how you know this shit's legit, right? Is it's in Reuters. Basically, Somali. So okay, everybody's familiar with Somali pirates. We all saw the movie with Tom Hanks, right? So we've all seen that. We all know what we're talking about.
Or we all saw the South Park episode.
Like, yeah. So
Somalian pirates,
Either or, yeah. Right? Those are the pirates we're talking about here. Not the Johnny Depp variety. So we're talking about modern pirates here. Now, modern pirates, what they do is the Somali pirates, they'll go out and they'll go and attack like shipping containers and stuff and steal the safes full of money that are on them so they can pay their sailors. And they'll do that and they'll just keep, and it's piracy. That's what they do. Now, financing a job like that apparently takes a bit of doing. I had no idea about the economics of piracy until I read this article. But there's you got to get a boat, you got to get some guys, you got to get some guns, and then you got to get some fuel for the boat, and then you got to find the boat you're going to rob. Like it's a whole operation. It's a whole thing, and all of that needs money. So where does a Somali pirate, a young up-and-coming Somali pirate, finance their operation? How do they do it? Well, they do it by selling shares in their enterprise. That's how they do it. So apparently it's a thing. By the way, this is all like mega illegal, by the way. Like, for the love of God, do not actually buy stocks in Somali pirates. This is like hella illegal. Right, but it's just like, I can't believe that this is a thing people can do. And by the way, so the article goes into like, here's like a success story, quote unquote, like success story of somebody who made money on this, and like, holy goddamn, their story is just bananas from like start to finish.
Yes, anyway, I'm skimming through it, and
you're right.
I've also found my favorite quote.
Yeah. Okay, hang on, hold on.
Sounds like a motto.
Yeah, I think I know what
made piracy a community activity.
Yes, yeah, that's a good one. They made piracy a community activity. So basically, what they do is that they say, okay, hey, we're gonna go and do some pirate shit. Who wants in? And you pay them. You like invest in that operation. You give them some money, and then they'll give you a return on the investment from the loot. So they'll give you a share of the loot, basically, from like the quote unquote treasure chest of gold that they go and get. So. But you don't have to finance them with money. And this is what's going to bring me into this story of like this one person who made some money. And by the way, I'm just going to say they're an American right now. It's an American person. And you're going to be like, oh, of course it was an American person. So instead of financing it with cash, they sent the pirates rocket-propelled grenades. Now, the question is...
I've never heard of rocket-propelled grenades before. Isn't that counterintuitive? Because grenades are explosive and rockets are fire.
No, they're bazookas. The bazooka things that, like, you see the Taliban use them all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, those things, right? Yeah.
A rocket-propelled grenade is essentially just what the proper term for a rocket launcher is.
Yeah, sorry.
Like a bazooka rocket launcher, whatever you want to call it, is actually an RPG, rocket-propelled grenade.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Now,
so anytime you see like that in a movie, it's an RPG.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's what this person sent the pirates as their investment. They're like, okay, I haven't got cash, but I got these. And the pirates were like, that's cool. We could totally use those. And then in return, the person got like couple, like 20, 30 grand or something back. But the best thing about the story is where that person got their weapons from. It's sort of like, okay, but how did the American get the weapons? Because I'm pretty sure, what would that? Because those things are expensive. So like, why not? Why send the guns when you could have sent the cash and like not worried about it? Well, that's because this person didn't buy the weapons with cash. They got them as part of a divorce settlement. So
what?
Yep. So they got the rocket-propelled grenades in a divorce settlement.
Is this person from Florida?
I'm about to ask. Yeah, is this a Florida man situation?
This is feeling very much like a Florida man invests in piracy, actually makes money. Like that feels like a headline that we could see in the next
Florida
6
man
months.
has explosive divorce settlement.
It doesn't say. It just says that they're a piracy investor and that their age. Which I'm going to keep it anonymous because I feel like this person is probably going to be in a lot of trouble for like doing this. But like basically I thought they sent multiple. They sent one RPG. Okay, I thought they had multiple. I thought that was even more insane. But like, no, they just sent the one, and then they got
with one rocket or with multiple rockets.
I don't know. It just says they sent one rocket propelled grenade. I don't even know if they sent
like
ammo
one
with the
shot
thing.
and make it count.
Yeah, probably. But they made $70,000 on this. So I was like, oh damn. Okay, so they got some cash for this. But basically, the person said that they got the weapon from their ex-husband in alimony. So, like, instead of being like, okay, here's some cash, they were like, here's an RPG. And Americans went, yeah, that's sensible. That's like a sensible thing to pay for alimony.
See, why would you, if you had an RPG just lying around, why? What would you be using it for?
I don't know. I do know. I do know it's more common in America than what you think. Like, I had a friend of mine who went to California, and they were just like bumming around California being tourists, and they met up with some people who were gun nuts, and they were like, "Hey, man, we know some friends of ours who were in the army. Why don't you come with us up into they go up into Northern California, up into the mountains where there's like national park, and we'll go and shoot off some RPGs."
Huh.
It's just a thing Americans can do. Yeah. So
yeah, as Ricki also it'd probably be depending on where they are as well.
Yeah, if you're out like Northern California or like Midwest Iowa or like Nebraska or something where you've got a lot of space and not a lot of people, I'm sure if you set up a target at the end of a field and set one off or a few off, no one would be around to complain about it.
Oh yeah.
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 Oh, I know. In there are certain countries where you can get rocket propelled grenades and shoot them at cows.
Yeah, I think you can do that in the Philippines.
Yeah, there's a few dodgy places out there where you can you can shoot RPGs at like pretty much whatever how much money you have will depend on what you can shoot it at, but there are no real limits in some places. They're just
the only limits are your own imagination.
pretty much. But yeah, this is a hell of a story. This is interesting.
Oh my god.
Yes.
It's insane. Just sort of like, I mean, I don't feel like I don't know. Did I the idea that like piracy has gone full Wall Street is kind of amazing to me. Like it's not a group of dudes getting together and like being like Ocean's 11 we're going to do. Actually no, it's more Ocean's 11 than anything else because Ocean's 11 had investors. Like that was a thing. So that's it's like
and it's got the word ocean in it.
And it involves an actual
and pirates
ocean.
are on the ocean.
That's
well
right.
Done.
It's fucking insane that this is like a thing that happens now. It's just I don't even know. Like, I mean, the only thing that would make this even more insane, the only thing that would make this even wilder is if it was as easy as like say buying Bitcoin, where you can just download an app to your phone and like do it. Like if they were like download the pirate app today and like you buy it and it's like a clip art ripoff of like Pirates of the Caribbean pops up and is like, hello, invest in this operation today. And then you can just like put your credit card number in and away you go. Like, I feel like that's the only way this would be more insane if there was like a phone app involved in any of this.
Well, I mean, this kind of feels like the plot of Casino Royale because that was all about investing in terrorists. And assuming that they actually, finished the job, which is where James Bond came in. Do not let them finish the job. But it's also funny, like at the top of this article, the three like auto generated ads I've got are all for investing companies.
Yeah, I got that too.
And I'm just like, is one of these the pirate one? Can I click on it now and invest? Like this honestly feels like in like say 15 years time, if this like continues and gets a bit more global attention, this could be like another Adam McKay movie. And if you don't know who he is, he's the guy that did The Big Short.
Yes.
So we could get a Big Short style movie where you've got people just like somehow finding out about this and then like going to actual Wall Street and being like, all right, this is where the new, like, the big money is. It's pirate investment, and you have like you bring back Steve Carell's character, and you bring back Ryan Gosling's character, and you just have them like trying to invest in piracy, which I feel like is the natural sequel to what The Big Short was, and I'm all for it. So, yeah,
no, I want to see that actually.
Yeah, 100%.
Great movie idea.
And then you get Brad Pitt's character come in, who's like the big expert, and he's like, "All right, let me explain to you kids what you want." So what you want to do?
Let me break this down.
Let me break this down for you really simply. And then of course, like before he actually does it, we'll just have Ryan Gosling come in and be like, okay, now he's going to actually offer like a real explanation, and that's fucking boring to look at. So we're just going to get a naked lady to explain it to you, and then like, you know, a naked lady appears on screen. It's like, okay, so here's how you invest in pirates. Like that's how The Big Short did it. I think that should be a way that we just explain everything.
Is that investment of the future in any situation? The way to invest is by having a naked woman pitch to you?
I don't know. No, I don't know. It's just that, like, that was literally a thing that happened in The Big Short. They were just like, okay, we need to explain how, I think it was credit default swaps or something, works.
Here's Margot Robbie in a bathtub.
Yeah. And it was Margot Robbie in a bathtub explaining, and not pulling any punches either. Like, she was just like straight up explaining, here's what a credit default swap is. Like, just giving it to you straight. Yeah. So yeah, like I feel like that's how you would have to shoot this movie in that exact same way. You'd have to be like, okay, so how does like, you know, how does investment in sort of like a syndicate style investment work? And that's like, yeah, how you do it.
Hey, I just realized this is a real world example of how porn can teach you something.
Yeah, actually, yeah. That's exactly what it is. There we go. Oh my God.
And we've come full circle.
We have.
That's my specialty on this podcast, is coming full circle.
Oh, very nice.
There we go. All right. So you know what the thing is though, because I mean they don't do this, but I feel like if you were going to put this in like a proper like cyberpunky type of a way, because I feel like this is like the closest I've ever seen to like a cyberpunk reality is like investing in criminal enterprises. I feel like if you're going to do this, what would you put as the ticker? You know what I mean? Like, you know how they have like 4 letters on the ticker? Like I think Amazon is like AMZN and Google is GOOG. Like what is the 4 letters that you use to represent pirates?
Well,
yeah.
SOPI.
SOPI.
Somalian pirates. SOPI.
Oh, okay. Right. Yeah.
Or you go SOMP, as in SOMP. SOMP.
Yeah.
Could work. Or shit. There's got to be another one.
PIRT.
Yeah, just pirates in general.
It's pirate.
Just pirates in general. Yeah.
It
depends on how specific you want the ticker to be, and also what the name of the company would be. Because if you want to keep it kind of a bit secretive about what's happening, then you'd want the ticker to be more ambiguous. But if you were like straight up, yeah, we're Somalian pirates, invest in us, then it has to be really specific.
Okay, so JJ, you are now the CEO of a Somali pirate enterprise. What do you call your company?
Oh, that's a tough one.
Right? Yeah, like what do you call it? Like I feel like what I would call it is I'd go with a nautical theme. Like definitely like lean into like the, you know, like the high seas aspect of it, and maybe steer it a little bit away from the death and the murder. You know what I mean? Like I'd go more nautical theme. So I feel like you could call it like Sailing Star Incorporated or something.
Yeah.
I'm trying to go with a pun. Hang on.
So am I. It's really hard to think of a pirate pun.
It's like pirate puns. What are pirate puns?
What about Silver Seas? Like Long John Silver and Sea.
I was trying to think of
sea.
I was trying to think of a Long John Silver pun.
The only Long John Silver pun I know is turning him into a porn star called Long Dong Silver.
Beautiful. Perfect.
Yes, I mean it's a thinker. That's a real thinker. And you know what? If anybody out there, you know, if anybody listening comes up with some great pirate company names, please send them to us on Instagram. Like just DM to us at Pint.Party or on Twitter at Pint Party. I think, you know what? I think we'll leave it there. How about that? We'll leave it there with like that's the question that we're going to leave.
This question has thrown me in a loop.
It has. There's so many possibilities.
My brain's like can't compute what's happening. I need to find a pun for this, but I can't.
Well, listen. I'll tell you what. I'll let you think about it. I'm gonna wrap up the show, and at the end we'll come back and see if you've got anything. Okay? How about that?
Okay.
All right. So, if you like this episode, please tell 2 friends in 2020. We're on Spotify. We're on Apple Podcasts. We're everywhere you like to listen to podcasts. So, anywhere that your friends want to prefer, because not everybody, some people, certain people have their preferences for certain podcasting platforms, and we're on all of those. So, absolutely, you can just say, you can get on Pint Party anywhere that you want to be. Wherever that is, we're there. You should also follow us on Instagram at pint.party as well. That's where we post all of our gimmicks. And that's where you can contact us and say, hey, I've got the best name for a pirate company. It's this. And it's sort of great, cool. Send that to us through, please, because that would be just wonderful. I might even make some, logos. I don't know, just to be funny, just to make some pirate logos. That kind of sounds like fun. Ooh, how do you do a corporate, what is a super executive-looking pirate logo look like? Ooh, that's a fun one. That's a fun thinker as well. There you go. So we're giving you all the thinkers today. You can also follow us on Twitter if Instagram is not your jam. So we're at Pint Party on Twitter, and you'll get notified there as well. And if you're looking for something to watch throughout the week, I am streaming on Twitch at twitch.tv/Pint Party. If you go there, you'll see my schedule for when I'm live. I'm currently playing through Exapunks at the moment, which is a video game about programming and hacking computers and stuff like that. It's all kind of cyberpunky and fun. And I failed year 10 maths. So if you want to watch a guy who's not very good at maths do maths, that's the way to do it. And if watching it live, by the way, and also on twitch.tv/Pint Party, when I'm not streaming, sometimes Ricki likes to stream as well, and we auto share that, so you can it's all in one place. If you want to watch Ricki stream as well, because we talked about that earlier in the show, that's there. Or you can just go straight to his stream, which is twitch.tv/elneedzo. And he'll be streaming. You don't have a regular stream schedule yet, do you? You just streaming whenever.
No, because my life is in constant flux. So
yeah.
But at the moment, I am playing through the new Pokemon Sword and Shield DLC.
Is that what that's like? What is that DLC called? Does it have a name? Because all I've ever heard people refer to it as is the Pokemon Sword and Shield DLC.
So there's 2 new packs coming out. So the first one came out this week. It's called Isle of Armor.
Right.
So it's a separate island from the island in the game. It's just new. They've given you, I think, 200 new Pokemon to catch. There is a little story mission which I'm currently working my way through, and there's some other stuff. And essentially, the idea of my stream right now is to work out if I wasted $45 or not.
Yeah.
That is the general consensus of
it's sort of do the funhouse method of $1 a minute.
No, $1 1 hour.
45 minutes on it. That's $45 It's fine.
Well, yeah, I've already played for 2 hours, so
then it was worth it. Then it was worth it by that method.
But yeah, because they've split it up, so the other half of this comes out in, I think, October or November. So I'm just trying to work out if I got my money's worth, because a lot of people are talking about their money's worth and the Pokemon system at the moment, because not a lot of people were happy with Sword and Shield. So yeah, I'm just trying to suss that out.
Let's get Pokemon Snaps where it's at, boys.
Yeah, look, we'll see what happens.
That is a thing that people are very excited about. I never played the original Pokemon Snap. It was just never a thing that entered my life, so I don't have the nostalgia excitement for it. I was just when I saw it got announced, I was like, oh, people have been asking for that for a while. It kind of took their time on putting out a new one of them, but okay, cool.
You know what people have really been asking for? A goddamn new Pokemon Stadium. Give it to me now.
Isn't that what Sword and Shield effectively is? Because the way I saw when you were playing it, I looked at the gameplay and I'm like, this looks like Stadium.
I mean, it's still the Pokemon battles just up-resed a bit. They're now in 3D and they move back and forward. But I'm talking proper, just straight up, no story, no wild encounters, just gym battles, just Pokemon Stadium. Give it to me. Goddamn it, Nintendo. You would make so much money if you just did this.
I feel like that's a DLC they could just straight up put out as well. You could just...
There kind of is, once you finish the game, there's the battle tower where you just go and play against people over and over again. That's essentially what Pokemon Stadium is, but Pokemon Stadium was also very much about the mini games. And I love that. Those mini games were... Because back in the day, it was either the Mario Party mini games or the Pokemon Stadium mini games. Which side were you on?
Yeah, right.
And the Pokemon Stadium mini games were, and I'll say this to my deathbed, were fucking shit tons better than the mini games in the original Mario Party. I'm sorry, but they were way more fun. So
you're not wrong. You're not wrong. As somebody who originally played the original Mario Party and never played the Pokemon Stadium minigames, I can tell you the Pokemon Stadium minigames are better having never played them. Because
Mario Party makes you want to kill my friends really viciously. So
Mario Party almost killed me. Like, I was one of the kids who had the hole in the hand from doing the joystick canoeing minigame. Yeah. Holy fuck. Yeah. Every time I think about it, I can still feel it in the palm of my hand as well. Like, there's like
it's one of those marks that will never leave you.
There's a sense memory. Yeah, for sure. Oh my God.
I was like, when you play Mario Kart, you get the A button imprint on your thumb because you've been holding it down for the entire race. I used to get that because like they were slightly indented on the N64 controller. So when you were pressing it down, you'd end up with an A imprinted on your thumb after Mario Kart.
Yeah, you did. I totally forgot
that one for me.
That.
That is some sense memory for me right there.
Damn. Yeah, you're absolutely right. So yeah, you can watch all of us do that stuff on Twitch for sure. Or if you're not into like the whole live viewing thing, you can watch at least all the VODs for my stream on our YouTube channel. So if you just search Pint Party on YouTube, all of the previous streams are there, and they're not designed for you to like go back and like watch and like sit there and actively like pay attention for it. They're really designed to be more like background listening. So if you're working from home, which a lot of people are, and you know, like you want to have just like the AFL, you want to pipe in some crowd, not a big crowd. I mean, if you're working from home and like I mean, unless you worked at the MCG, like most people probably didn't have 100,000 people cheering them on as they were writing spreadsheets. But if you're just looking to have some banter in the background while you're working from home, you can chuck on those VODs. And honestly, there is like well and truly, I think the last time I checked, my playtime was on Exapunks was about 70 odd hours, and all of that's on stream. So there's easily 70 odd hours of content there for you to just like put on. So you're never going to run out of like stuff to have on in the background while you work. There's going to be absolutely no problems there. And that's it for that. So JJ, have you had enough time to think of a corporate name for your pirate operation?
No, and it's bugging me so much.
All right. So that's we'll probably revisit this then in the future, and like, you know, or you know what, just get in touch with me, JJ, and just like shoot me a message and be like, it's this, and then like we'll put that out on like Twitter.
Done.
And stuff
okay,
like that.
My new mission for the week. I can do that.
I've got like a bad one. If you want that.
Oh, good, bad. Yeah. I don't care. Go for it.
Yeah. Okay. You know, so like Goldman Sachs is, you know, the two surnames of the guys that created the company.
Yeah.
Just something like Sparrow Barbosa.
Yes.
Or if you want to get real meta with it, Beard and Beard, Red Beard and Black Beard. Beard and Beard.
Yes. Beard and Beard Associates.
Love it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my God. Yes. Oh, I am making that logo because that is wicked. I love it. And with that, this has been Pint Party. Cheers.
Cheers.
This podcast is part of the Heartifact Podcast Network. For more of this and our other podcasts, head to heartiFactstudios.com.au.